Hello. Today we will talk about the science fiction novel Brave New World, which was written by Aldous Huxley. First, we will see the movie. The movie is about Brave New World, which was brought to the big screen in 1998 by American director Leslie Williams. And there also a TV series. In 2020, it was made into a TV series directed by Owen Harris. So you must be familiar with this TV play and the movie, right? So let's take a look at what is the novel is about. Introduction. The Aldous Huxley was an English author of more than 50 books, including poems, stories, articles, philosophical treatises, and plays. His works, especially his most famous and controversial novel Brave New World, serve as a social critical of the ills of our time. The book introduced. Brave New World was published in 1932. It is one of the most classic dystopian literature of the 20th century, along with George Orwell's 1984 and John McCain's B. The three dystopian books have had a far-reaching influence around the world. This brave new world, although everyone can live and work in peace and content without sorrow and pain, human individuality and freedom will be stilted. Art and literature will be buried, and even happiness and sorrow will be lost. The creation background. Utopia comes from the novel Utopia, written by Thomas More, the founder of utopian socialism in Britain, the expression of human yearning for the ideal world. Dystopian literature was born in the early 20th century, a powerful tool for writers to attack dark reality. Brave New World was born in this context. The story takes place in the year 2540 for the 632 in the book. In the first society at that time, the rank of how human beings were determined by a series of technological manipulations such as test tube, cultivation at birth, and they only had to play roles determined by technology throughout their lives. Character analysis. Bernard Alpha. He's got great genes, great pedigree, great background, but like most of us, he has limitations and flaws. Because of this imperfection, he was filled with inferiority and cowardice. Although he is always crumbling and restless, he constantly seeks to fit into a higher social class and become a more respected person. That is until John the Barbarian appears in his world and gives him everything he wants. Lenin has long followed the orthodoxy of society, and though occasionally rebellious, she was beautiful, elegant, passionate, and most of the time loved as the girl who most closely matched people's normal aesthetic. After he encountered with barbarism to a certain extent, she fell into a tangle of emotions, in a condition intertwined in a mass, but she couldn't break down the walls of hers. Like every young girl caught in an emotional vortex. Joan is a mixture of primitive Indian culture and utopia culture, with Shakespeare as his guide to life, but the Indian often excluded him from their rituals. Joan is the most important and complex character in Brave New World. John's desire for love is actually the desire for eternity, and the pursuit of the new world spirit is just a fleeting desire. Helmholtz was a special person in the New World. He had been brought up in the New World and did not reject the Old One, which was why the Stevage was willing to talk freely with him. Unfortunately, while he did not reject the old, he was still unable to understand them because, after all, he had been brought up in the New World. This was reflected in the quarrel that took place between him and the barbarian. The keywords: classes. Rulers rule the world and ensure social stability by creating a five-tier system. Alphas and betas are at the top of the system, acting as scientists, politicians, and other top minds, while gammas, deltas, and epsilons are at the bottom, representing the industrial working class. Different levels of embryos correspond to different methods of cultivation. Soma. The drug soma is an anesthetic that produces pleasant feelings without any lingering effects. This makes sure that no one is in pain or unhappy, and the very case will receive it free of charge. One egg, one embryo, one adult normality. But a volcanovskified egg will proliferate, will divide from 8 to 96 buds, and every bud will grow into a perfectly formed embryo, and every embryo into a full-sized adult. Neopavlovian. In Neopavlovian conditioning, the baby enters a room filled with books and roses. Alarms and sirens go off when the baby gets close to a book or rose, and the baby receives a mild electric shock, which frightens them so much that they recoil in fear that when confronted with the same object a second time. There is some classic statement: alpha, beta, gamma, theta, and epsilon. Alpha is ending is better than ending. Alpha, the more stitches, the less reaches. Gamma, everyone works of everyone else. Theta is words can be like X-rays if you use them properly. They will go through anything. Epsilon, what you need is something with tears or a change. So if we read it carefully, we will find that the freedom in the book is limited to the level of material desire. But it is so powerful that we can blend ourselves to the spiritual freedom of the individual. I believe that in the new world, the desire to think truth is a personal desire. It cannot exist in a new world without personality and thought. This is all of my presentation. Thanks for listening.